everybody, welcome to my live stream. Thank you for joining me again today. If you haven't met me already, I'm Pam Duthie. I help you craft your career with strategic marketing for online selling, specifically on Etsy, and needle felting and crafting tutorials. So if you haven't met me already, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for joining me. If everyone could let me know if the sound and everything is working okay today, if I've set everything up all right, because I am a total newbie at all of this. And yeah, if you're catching this on the replay, or if you've just joined me, what I'm looking to do today, we're going to have a wee in-depth dive into Tuckamore Wildcraft's Etsy shop, see if we can help her in any way sorting out some better strategies for selling online. And it's a really cool needle felting shop as well, so this covers both my bases. We can drool over some needle felting and we can hopefully get an idea of how I think things through for selling online. And this is going to be using the Etsy rank checker as well, the Etsy rank website. So if you don't use that tool, totally recommend getting onto it. Oh, hi there, Cassandra. Cassandra's just joined us, and if you didn't catch my live stream last week, we featured her in at the end because she's just started needle felting and did a fantastic little kind of unboxing tutorial to start with, and we've got some exciting plans coming up for later, myself and Cassandra. So hi, Cassandra. Yeah, after we've done that, I've got another wee video to spotlight for you, and then hopefully any little bits of chat. But let's get right into it and have a wee look at Tuckamore Wildcraft's shop, which is this button. Yeah, so hopefully you can all see my desktop now. I haven't got the funky way of flipping between screens and looking beautiful, but hopefully this all works for you all. And this is Tuckamore Wildcraft's shop. If any of you are wanting any looking at their shops or anything, in the Pam Duthie's Felting Friends Facebook, which there should be a link to somewhere in the description down below, I have a thread on there for anyone to post up their shop, and I'll work through you. It takes a bit of time. I've spent the whole of today trying to dig deep into the shop. It takes a bit of work, so I'll get through you all eventually, but it's going to be only one or two a week. Hi there, Mary, thanks for joining me. I can never figure out how to do the wave hands and everything in the chat, but cool to see you here. Did everyone have a good week? I'll do a little warning just now. Generally, when I'm doing a live stream, I pop my dogs into the car with a nice chew or something, because I live opposite a park, and if something kicks off outside, my dogs might have a wee woof. But we've had quite a bit of surprising snow today. It's beautiful. We've had a lovely long walk in the snow, but I really don't think it's fair to stick my dogs in the car. So they're here down beside me. Like I say, we had a long walk and they're napping just now. But if they give a wee woof, you'll know they're just wanting to join in. So hopefully they're going to behave themselves. This is their first shot at live streaming. We'll see how that goes. Hi, Chris, Zach, and Suzanne as well. Cool. Is that three of you watching on the one screen? That's actually really cool. I always think of like each account as just one person. I don't think you'll gather around the telly to watch me. Anyway. Right, so let's get into this Tuckamore Wildcrafts. I hope I'm saying that right. Nature-inspired wool art and felted birds and home decor. So she's been on Etsy since 2013, so you've seen a few changes in those times, and had 306 sales. And that is actually really good, especially for needle felting. It can be really hard to get your first 100 sales, so 300 is awesome, but of course we all want more. It's never enough for any of us, so let's see what we can do. First of all, just want a wee look at this shop, if we all have a nosy. And well, hang on, right, I don't want to make you all sick, but we've got to scroll again. I just wanted to start with that that shop picture is fantastic. I love I think that's a sunset, or is it the aurora borealis or whatever, with the trees and everything. That is a beautiful picture, and I know it's needle felted pictures, and I know how long they take, so it is utterly beautiful. So a quick scroll through the shop. There's a few needle felted pictures, but the majority of what she seems to have in here is needle felted birds, and they are fantastic. I love the blue jay and the red cardinal and everything. They're all really cute, and it's their own individual style. So lots of other needle felting things, but mainly birds. I'm trying to scroll slowly because I know when I'm watching other people that makes me feel really really not the best. So I'm just going to have a wee nosy into the sales. I have an idea of what we'll see here. Yep, exactly what I thought. Is the majority of sales are looking like they're being birds, and as it is with a lot of shops, it tends to be, if you've got items that you can relist, if you've got things you can make again and again, this is a really fantastic thing, because Etsy does give a boost to an item that's had a lot of sales, recently had a lot of sales. So that's why a lot of people talk about, they almost get a clump of sales. If something sells, then suddenly they seem to get loads more, and that's because that one sale boosts that item up. You get seen more and you sell way more. So there is like a little run. It's a lot of this blue jay and cardinals and things, and they are rather lovely. So that's what's selling the most in the shop, and that's really quite important. Now, as I'll say with anyone, these are just my ideas. You can take what you want and totally bin what you don't want as well. I know some people do really well with all different types of shops, and completely not anything to do with my advice. So what I'm going to say here that I think would help this shop is to niche down a little bit. If we look at the sections in the shop, there's a lot of birds and critters. There's only a couple of pillows. There's a few felted soaps, pin cushions and stones, drop spindles and snowman ornaments. These are very small sections. Now I get like snowman ornaments, this is probably not the time for that. That'll be in the run up to Christmas. I would certainly say with only one listing for drop spindles, that probably doesn't fit in with the shop. And to get extra sales, it might be an idea to really niche down. This is something I'm talking about, I think, in tomorrow's video. I can't remember, I edited a few. So I think it's tomorrow's video. We're talking about niching down, in that this is a lovely, beautiful shop, but I think certainly it wouldn't hurt to remove some of the items that are, some of the sections, some of the categories. Definitely, probably take out the drop spindles, take out the pin cushions and stones, take out the ornaments. I would possibly, to get real good sales, even just make it a needle felted bird shop. I think that would go fantastically well. And then what that means is you're then an authority on needle felted birds. Etsy will boost you, you'll get a boost in Google. I can't speak properly. You'll get a boost in Google, and just having all of the same thing, when someone comes to your shop and they've seen the needle felted cardinal and they see loads of other things that are also birds, it might give them an idea, you know, to get other birds. I know I used to do it myself. You think if you have 40 different kinds of things, it gives people options, but actually people just want that one thing that they're looking for. I do think the paintings are beautiful as well, and this, something I'm going to talk about, is hero and hub type content. Those of you that hang about on YouTube as well, you'll know what I'm going to be saying about that, but it actually works for Etsy as well. So I think the paintings could be like a hero content. I know they take a really long time to make, so it wouldn't be the easiest to make a shop of just paintings. So your birds could be your hub, your birds could be the main bread and butter of the shop, and the pictures, the wall paintings could be the spectacular thing that people aspire to. And I would also maybe try and tie these together by perhaps if you could do some bird paintings. I mean, this butterfly here is absolutely beautiful, and that kind of style with some of your birds would be absolutely lovely. And this would tie in the 3D birds and 2D birds. But that's just my 2p worth. I would niche down the shop and maybe either do just birds or birds and paintings, but up to yourself, obviously. Now into the meat of this, I have notes here. I had more of a look into just how we could improve some of the tags and titles and everything for just one item or one type of item, and I was kind of blown away with these Northern Light ptarmigan sculptures that you make. This is totally unique and I've not seen anything like this before, and I think people would utterly love them. I see you have had some sales and you're doing okay with them. I think that is such a cute idea, just having the bird but with Northern Light type colours all over it. It is rather sweet. So I had a wee look at all of this to get some ideas for how you could go with the tags and titles to boost this up in your ranking. So I just want to kind of show you my thinking for how I think out these kind of things. And I've made an Excel spreadsheet. People who know me, I love Excel spreadsheets. So what I did first of all was I made a list of all the names I could think of for something like this. So obviously needle felted art, just thinking of different names there, needle felted bird, northern light sculpture, aurora borealis, ptarmigan sculpture, and I just thought up these kind of names. And then I went into Etsy Rank. If you haven't used this tool before, this website, get yourself on there. It's free. They do have a paid subscription, which I'll be getting into later on in the year, but just now I'm just using the free version, and it is so helpful. So initially I used the keyword tool, but we can also see a lot of the things here, but yeah, so straight away I went into the keyword tool, which is tools, keyword tool, and then type in one of the titles that I thought of. So it takes a wee minute to get there because it's searching all through Etsy for us. It's actually pretty quick, but it's going to be slow today, isn't it? Yeah, but this tool is great because it gives us a whole lot of details about what we've just searched for. Now the most important thing, I'm going to explain what these 3 bars at the bottom are for. So your competition is, as it sounds like, this is the number of listings that are already on the shop with the term Northern Lights. So it found 6,000 listings with that, so it's calling that a medium competition. It's not something that's absolutely massive, there's not tens of millions of results found on it, so it's a medium competition. So this means reasonable sized shops might be able to rank for this term. And then the demand, this is how many people are searching for the term Northern Lights. Now with this is a kind of different thing because Etsy don't actually release this data. What the tool's using is it's using the Bing search results because Bing do release this data. So it might not be completely relevant to shops on Etsy, but it gives us an idea that lots of people search for the Northern Lights, and that makes sense. It's something I would love to see myself. I think they look awesome and I really want to see them in real life. And then high engagement, this is such an important result as well, because what this is telling us is if someone searches for the term Northern Lights on Etsy, they are very likely to buy something from the page when they find it. So it's not like see a term like ring, that might be really competitive, but also people might not be buying that much. They'll search for it and go, oh, that wasn't really what I was looking for, and search for something else. Whereas Northern Lights, it's got a high engagement. People are likely to buy from it. So what you're really looking for of these numbers, the holy grail, is to get one that's a really low competition. There's not many people using those tags, but it's in high demand and people buy it often. Obviously that's the holy grail, so that's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but you're just wanting to try and get the best that you can. So I went through loads of different types, all these terms that I could think of, and this is the actual numbers that are returned in the search, which is really interesting. Like ptarmigan sculpture only has 7 other items there, so that's like, there's not a whole lot of competition there, but it just depends if people are looking for that. So I pulled up all the data I could get on this. So for example, the tag needle felted, it's shown 50,000 here. It actually, that's the limit it goes to. It says 50,000, then it doesn't count anymore. It just has so many. So hi Dr. Sten. Yeah, I know, spreadsheets. Right, people that know me know I have this massive problem with spreadsheets. I love them. So anyway, I made a spreadsheet so we can see, and I also put in the colours so you can see all the colours. What we'd be looking for is something that has all greens, but that's not necessarily very easy to get a hold of. So for the term needle felted, it has a very, very high competition. There's a lot of people looking for that. There's a lot of people with items with that. It's a medium engagement on a Bing search, which is actually pretty cool because needle felting's a new art. But it's also surprisingly very high engagement, which is a surprise because it's a very broad term. It means people who are searching for needle felted means they don't have the greatest idea of what they're looking for, but they see stuff that they like on that search term and they're really likely to buy it. So it's a good one to have. So we had all of this, and then what I also wanted to look for in the tools, we went to the rank checker and popped in her, oh, that's interesting, popping in the shop name. I have to copy and paste it across because I can't spell for toffee. So we'll pop our shop name into this section on the rank checker. I've noticed she's in Canada, so we're going to choose that as the shop location, and then I was just popping in any other term, so we'll use Northern Lights again because that's what we're using. And what this is doing is it's looking for a search in Canada with the term Northern Lights. What shops have we got there? But also, where does Tuckamore Wildcrafts, do they show up on this search? So again, it's telling us all this competition data. It's slightly different each time you search because Etsy changes quite a lot. But this is telling us for this shop, Tuckamore Wildcrafts, for the term Northern Lights, she's actually got an item on page 1. It's one of these ptarmigan listings, which is really cool. So it's searched for us. This is actually great because I used to have to search through them all manually. So it's searched through and showing that she is ranking for this. But it's at position 26, which is a bit of a pain because it's low down. You would prefer to be on page 2 high up than page 1 low down because people are so lazy and they'll just flick through pages without scrolling down. But anyway, it means she's doing pretty well for that. So if it's something we can boost, but it's still, I went through all the terms and I searched for her position in them all, and we added this into the spreadsheet so we can see this is all the pages that she's on. So for needle felted, she does have a listing on page 1, which is fantastic because this is the very high competition, medium search volume, and very high engagement, very high them buying stuff. So that's given her the really best chance. So What this is telling me right off the bat is that this shop can actually rank really well for difficult terms, so it's a really cool thing. So we looked through at some of the terms. We've got like a bird sculpture, she doesn't rank at all with any of her listings. Bird art, she doesn't rank. Northern Lights sculpture. And so of all of these, I made lists of what I thought were going to be decent terms to work on. I also, right, I just want to put this up. I just looked through one of the listings that she already had up and looked at what the titles and the tags were like. I just want to do this for an example of how she's doing really well, but she could do so much better actually, which is fantastic. So the title for this listing is 3-inch felted Northern Lights ptarmigan cute wool birds table rusted decor. It's not a bad title, but we can improve it. It sounds a little bit spammy at the minute. First thing I'm going to say is, right, your title, this is your real estate. This is the most important thing to get to rank. So we want to use this as wisely as we possibly can. So I know it seems to make sense to say the size of the birds and everything in the title, but that's not necessary. That can go into the description, and also there's bits in Etsy as we're putting up the listing to say what the sizes are. So we don't need to tell people how big it is at this minute, so I'd take that out. Obviously it's good, it's not going to hurt to say how many is in each listing, because she's got listings for multiple amounts. But also your title and your tags need to work together to boost each other. So if it's in the title, these should be your most important tags. Now this is the tags that she has in this listing, and as we can see, of all the tags, there's only one that's actually in the title as well. So there's only one that's really optimized as Northern Lights, which is probably why she's got the listing on ranked on page 1, which is fantastic, but we can do better and we can get some more of them. So I had a look and she has 6 listings, so there's quite a lot we can do with 6 listings. I'm going to try and explain this quickly if I can. But one listing can boost another. Now, we don't want all the 6 listings to be identical because Google hates that. Content that's all cookie cutter from each other, Google hates and is going to hurt you for it. But if things are similar, search engines really like that, because if you're searching for a needle felted bird and it looks and goes, oh, she's got 6 items that are kind of all the same thing, then you have an authority on the subject. They think, oh, she must know about needle felted birds. So we can boost up. Although you might optimize for one thing in one listing, your other 5 could be boosting up that listing. So I had a look at all the things I'd pulled out at the side here and picked on some terms that I think would be really important to go for with these 6 listings. And that's needle felted, bird sculpture, bird art, and Aurora Borealis, because Aurora Borealis had much better engagement than Northern Lights, so we want to really go for that. And the terms not so important for the title are these ones that have practically no listings. For a ptarmigan sculpture, we don't really desperately need to try and optimize for that. We just need to mention it somewhere, because there's only 7, so you're going to be on page 1 for that anyway. It's impossible not to be on page 1, so we don't have to go mental for that. So trying to pull together these terms, I just want to give you an idea of how I would make a listing. So basically, pulling together some important terms. So we've got Aurora Borealis. So I'm thinking a first title for one of the listings, you would have the number to start with, say 5 or 3 or whatever. Aurora Borealis ornament, a needle felted bird sculpture. So this gives you quite a few tags all in your title, but it doesn't read as spammy, it just tells you what it is. And then from that you have the tags Aurora Borealis. Now, Aurora Borealis ornament, the dog's having a scratch here if you can hear him. Aurora Borealis ornament is too long for a tag, but what you can do is add Borealis ornament, and that works together into a tag eventually. Needle felted. Now, that's in the title. You're not likely to rank for it with that item, but having it in quite a few of your listings keeps you up there. That's going to boost and keep the one that's at page 1 already, that'll keep it there. Needle felted bird, and then felted bird. So you see all these tags are in the title as well, and it's really important that the words are together. So as you can see, needle felted bird sculpture gives us the tags needle felted bird, felted bird sculpture, and bird sculpture. It does not give us felted sculpture because there's a gap between the words, if that makes sense. So if you want to rank for felted sculpture, then in a different title you would have to put those words next to each other. So needle felted sculpture without the word bird in the middle. Does that make sense there? So then once you've got all the tags that come from the title, then we're bunging in some other tags. So we want to, things that don't need too much work we can put in, like the ptarmigan sculpture, and also any other tags that we're thinking of trying to boost with other listings. So we're possibly, as we're possibly looking to do Northern Lights art in another title, you could have that as a tag in this listing. And then the third thing to do to tie all this together even better is all the tags that you've put in, you want to find a way to fit them into your description, but in a descriptive way. You don't want to just copy and paste all the tags. Etsy and Google are going to hate you for doing that. So in a conversationally way, you make sentences that contain all these tags with the words in the right order. One thing that you do get away with that's really handy is you just take your title, copy that into the first line of your description, and then your next sentence you can explain the sizes, the dimensions and everything else, and start putting in your tags. Give a couple of sentences explaining how you've made it and everything, but think in terms of tags, because if you've got a tag that's in your title, in your tags and in your description, then that's boosted the most. So I hope that helped a little bit to give you an idea of how to tag a little more selectively and hopefully get up a little bit into the rankings. But I have to say, you're doing fantastically already, and I absolutely love these Northern Lights bird decorations. But that's just an idea of how I do these kind of things. So does that make sense to everyone? Did I lose loads of you? I know this isn't for everyone. Most of you aren't on Etsy, but at the same time, it's still really cool to see these needle felted sculptures. Anyway, so I wanted to get on to last week. We had a wee look at Cassandra's video because she's doing fantastically starting out needle felting. This is a bit more of a little self-promotion as well, but I've been following this guy Brian G. Johnson for about a year now, and if you're into YouTube at all, if you're wanting to make it on YouTube, then I would totally recommend him. But the other thing is, a lot of this, thanks Cassandra, I was going to say she said this, but you can all read it, it's at the side, so that's cool. Now Brian is really cool in that a lot of his background, he's been doing SEO and doing online marketing and things for years, so it's not just relating to YouTube. I still get lots of ideas, like he'll say something about YouTube and I'll go, oh, is this going to work for Etsy? Give it a try, and it works for Etsy, or it works for Google. Or so if you learn SEO about one thing, then it can really help for other things. And also, let's be honest, any of these platforms, they don't necessarily last forever. So YouTube could shut down tomorrow, Etsy could shut down tomorrow, but these skills that we've learned will still work everywhere else. They help you. Like, people say, why should I be on Etsy if I could just open my own website? Well, actually getting your own website to rank is so much harder than ranking on Etsy. So if you learn how to rank on Etsy and get really good at that, then you can take these skills that you've learnt to your own website eventually. So don't think any of this learning's a waste of time. It's really, really handy. I think it was about 15 years ago, I decided to make my own website for, I was a driving instructor at the time, and I was trying to get seen on that, and that was such a learning curve, but that so helped me with everything else. But anyway, Mr. Brian here was so kind as to feature me in one of his videos, which is great. So if you want to, there's a link in the comments below, and oh, that's me. Yeah, that's weird to see, but it's fantastic seeing yourself with someone else's funky editing. But get yourself over there and give that a wee look, because it's a really, actually, an awesome video. I need his editing team on one day that'll happen. But anyway, get over there, give him some love, because it's really useful stuff that he's given. And what a supportive person, that a YouTuber that I've been looking up to for a year has featured me a little bit. So yeah, I've actually got through all the stuff that I was wanting to talk to you about today. So, oh, and it's, sorry, I've got to stop doing this, but I'm just looking out the window and it's gone brown out there. In that way, you know that it's just going to be a horrible snowstorm. So I'll be getting the kettle on in a minute. So how's everyone been? Have you got any questions or anything you want? You know, I've got a bit of time. I can hang out and chat if there's anything that anyone wants to know about. Yeah, awkward. But yeah, I just wanted to remind you all as well, if you're new here, thank you for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe. But also, if you're wanting to get involved in the community, we've got the YouTube group of Ben McFuzzy, no, the YouTube page of Ben McFuzzylugs, and the YouTube group that's Pam's Felting Friends. And it's actually a really great place because we're nice and small just now, so it feels really good and friendly, and no drama, which is great. I know a few of you will be aware that there's been some drama kicking off in certain areas on the internet, and I'm just so happy that it's not been happening in my group. So if you're friendly, you want to know about needle felting or about Etsy SEO, Etsy marketing, then pop over to the group. Like I say, there's a couple of threads there. If you've got needle felting work that you want to share in this live stream, then there's a thread there for that. If you've got shops that you want me to do this kind of deep delve into, give you an idea there, then I've got that there as well. But anyway, I think that'll do us, because I want to get the kettle on. This is still catching me at the corner of the eye, the colour that the sky's going. I'll get pictures and put them up in the group in a little while. It's kind of scary. But I think that will do us for today. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been great fun as always. I hope everyone's weekend's going great and the weather's better with you than it is with me. Yeah, thank you. Or see some amazing felting art as well. It is, Cassandra, I remember when I started felting and I thought how, hello Uncle Jim, I don't think I've seen you before, so hi there. Now I remember, Cassandra, when I first saw needle felting and I was amazed, and do you know, 10 years on and I still am. Basically, I always wanted to do this realistic dog type work, you know. I'll get some pictures up later. I haven't got them just now, but there's some needle felting artists. There's a woman, Cindy, in the Needle Felting UK group, and her poodles. She put, literally, I've got a few friends on Facebook who have poodles, so when I was scrolling through my feed, I really thought it was a post about my friend's poodle rather than a needle felted dog. It was so real, and it just, I have to try hard not to be demotivated by it. I've got, I think we can go to my ugly mug now. There we go. I've got my little guys that I make, and I mean, I know if I'd have seen these 10 years ago, I would have been so happy with the idea that I could make things like this, but I just see her work and I so wish I could be like that. I've tried realistic for so long, and no, everything I do just comes out cartoony. When I try and draw, it's a cartoon. When I try and make a sculpture, it's a cartoon. So I think we'll always never be happy with what we do, which is kind of good. You're always striving for better, but you've got to not be demotivated by seeing how amazing other people do. Just try and make yourself better, a little better each time. And Cassandra, like I say, just started needle felting a couple, was it last week you put the video up? Yeah, it was just last week. She just got her kit and just started, and I think she did a great job, especially because the kit seemed to come with merino tops, which is really quite difficult to work with for a beginner. I don't know why they do that with kits. It should be better stuff, because it could demotivate you. So I think Cassandra did fantastic with using that roving. Can James David ask you something? You can ask. You can ask. Let's see. I'm always worried when people say things like that anyway, but ask away, we'll see. Yeah, so Cassandra, I think you did really awesome with that, and I'm excited because now she's got some proper wool, some carded bats, I believe, so I'm excited to see where she gets to with that. And like I say, we've got a fun project coming up. But anyway, I think it's probably time for me to shoot off. It's been great hanging out with you. I hope that little bit of the Etsy shop, the delve into it, gave you an idea of how my mind works a little bit, and it's given you some ideas, and I didn't lose you all there. But thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.